Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Stevens Institute of Technology. It's our weekly show across Stevens Athletics, the Stevens Athletics Coaches Corner. I'm your host, Drew Casey, and joined this week by the head coach of the women's soccer program. He is Jeff Parker. Coach, thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me here, Drew. Good to see you.
Hey, nice to see you as well. And I want to start with your most recent game on Wednesday night. 24th ranked team in the country, Western Connecticut State, comes in. They were 14-0 as they entered Hoboken. They were 14-1 when they left. You guys picked up a 1-0 victory. What did you see from your team on Wednesday night?
Yeah, good result for us. I thought we were particularly good in the first half. I thought our connections and I think you mentioned earlier, collaboration was really good. We were able to control the tempo and do a lot of good things in the first. We were fortunate to get a goal. That's how soccer goes. Sometimes when you're on the ascendancy and when you've got a little bit of the play, you have to capitalize on it, and we were able to get a goal. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get a second, but a lot of good things. Second half, a little harder, but that's what you get. You got a team that's really confident coming in here, really well coached. A lot of respect for that program, but to be able to kind of get through that and make sure we get 3 points on the night, that was a good result for us.
A 1-0 win again over the 24th ranked team in the country. It's a non-conference match, but definitely a building block for sure as you head into the stretch run of conference play within the MAC Freedom, which we'll get to in a minute. You talked about collaboration. Something else you talked about was trust following the game. I'm curious how much that's developed throughout the season, and now it seems to be leading to your success.
Well, that's kind of the foundation or the framework about every team. You know, you got a group of people and you've got to work together, and you've got to believe in each other, and you got to find ways to kind of take the baton sometimes and sometimes pass the baton off. And it's been hard. It's been really difficult just getting our group back together, and I think that was a little bit of our superpower in the past as we've had a team that has always been really tight and knew each other really well and understood each other and would work for each other. And it was hard with the COVID and being away, and preseason wasn't what it usually is, and spending as much time together as we really like to do. But we're getting there, and it's been a little bit of a process, and we have a pretty big roster, and being able to get everybody kind of on the same page and moving forward, that's just a testament to them that they've continually gotten better, and that's what we're about. We're always been about growth and just trying to keep improving every day, and that trust, that's such a big thing about groups and group dynamics.
Growth and improvement, of course, something any coach wants to see in any season. I'm curious how the growth and the improvement aligns with the goals that maybe you have set forth this season, or what some of those goals are down the stretch run of this current season.
Well, I think that's big in a lot of teams. They talk about goals and this. I don't know if that's really our focus. Our group is usually about standards. And we feel that standards are kind of things that we can meet every day and we can try to improve upon. If you have a goal, it's great to check a box. Sure. But for us, it's always about trying just to raise the bar a little bit. We want to be like a pole vaulter, It's like, okay, I cleared 14. Okay, now I want to clear 14-1. Now I want to clear 14-2. So we want to keep on just trying to have a really high standard. And that's going to be different for every team. And every team's kind of put together a little bit differently. But our group just wants to kind of get into it and understand who each other are and to get a chance just to try to reach our potential. And that's only going to happen when everybody is able to go all in. And you've got a lot of things in the world that are trying to pull you apart and trying to have different kind of things that they think are important. For us, it's about our group, and can our group get better because each individual is contributing to it. And I really think those are kind of our standards, and we work to try and do that every day and get back after it out there tonight.
He is the head coach of Stevens Women's Soccer, Jeff Parker, and I'm Drew Casey. Thanks for being with us here on this week's episode of the Stevens Athletics Coaches Corner. With that said, Coach, the standards that you just went through there, how would you characterize the style of play that your team of 34 has put together, and maybe where do you still want it to get to?
Yeah, we're getting there. I think the last couple weeks especially, I think it's looked a little bit more like Stevens soccer for us. We're always been a little more about style rather than shape. So our style is we go at people. We want to make them worry about defending us. We want to go forward. We want to work in collaboration. We want to play in combinations. And we want to have everyone kind of get a chance to kind of maximize what they do. And I think historically, you look back at like our stats and stuff. Oh, well, this person scored this much, or this person had this many assists. It's like, I think when you look at our stats, it's balanced because it's about our team more than the individual. We don't care who scores as long as we score. So that's always been kind of our driving point. And especially last night, there were some great things against Western Connecticut that our team was able to do. And we're looking to build upon that. And a couple more games left in the regular season, and hopefully that carries us forward.
3 conference matches left in the regular season. It'll be over 8 days from this coming Saturday through the next coming Saturday, and then into hopefully the postseason tournament and hopefully some home matches in the postseason. We'll get to all that. But the first thing that I want to mention is, how do you balance that stretch run with rest and recovery, especially at the last part of the season?
Well, it kind of starts with being a student athlete here at Stevens. You know, a lot is required and a lot is expected. And we have a lot of type A people, and they're super driven, and that's how they've gotten here. And now you've got to find ways to make sure that they're maximizing their performance. A big thing we do, we have a couple of analytics devices that we use to try and help measure recovery and strain and sleep. And those things are really important because if you don't get those things aligned, you're not going to be able to perform. And I'm not just talking about on the field. I'm like, you're going to be tired. You're going to be more susceptible for injury. You're not going to be able to focus in the classroom. So we use that data, and we use conversations, and we talk about it a lot. And it's about making sure that we're doing everything we can to get ourselves into the green, as we like to say. So
Okay.
If we're in the green, we've got a better chance of performing. You know, if we're in the yellow, you know, or if we're in the red, we got a better chance of not performing or maybe even becoming injured. So we use that information to either augment or to style our training sessions and limit our volume or our intensity or the time that we're out there. And we kind of use all that. And it sounds like I'm sitting there with a calculator 24/7 in the office, but it's not that complicated. But we use those to make sure that we're ready to go. Because, you know, for our team to be successful, we have to have the most number of people, as close to 100% as possible, on game day. So maybe we're limiting people that week, or maybe some people are catching up on sleep, or maybe they get a big test. And for us, it's about managing strain. And we talk a lot with them about that. And if we can give them some tools to kind of help them figure out that at a school like this, at a program like this,
Sure.
in an environment like ours, I think it's only going to help them when they graduate.
You bring up a lot of interesting points there. I just want to ask a simple follow-up question. Would you consider your program now, and maybe it was this way when you first started here more than 20 years ago, and the technology I don't think was there, but my question is, would you consider yourself an analytically driven women's soccer program, or is it just an element of your program?
Definitely an element.
Okay.
But I don't know. I think we've evolved, and hopefully we have. We better be doing things
Sure.
better now than when we first got started.
Yeah.
Because that's one of our standards. We want to get better every day. So we're using that, and I think we're actually using it a little bit better this year than we did in 2019. And that's exciting to see, and to have people buy into it, and to understand that, wow, these are some controllables that maybe I can use to affect not only how I feel, not only how I act, or not only how healthy I'm going to be, but how I perform in the classroom and on the field.
Can you get one of those for me, Doug Waters, Charles O'Brien?
Well, no, it's a big fundraising deal. And, you know, actually interesting to note, you know, the All Rise campaign is fully underway. You know,
Perfect segue. Totally planned.
Jump in and donate to Stevens Women's Soccer, all right? Or any of your other favorite Duck programs. That's great.
He is the head coach of Stevens Women's Soccer, Jeff Parker, Drew Casey, and Charles O'Brien and Doug Waters behind the scenes here helping us out. So glad you're with us on the Stevens Athletics Coaches Corner. Coach, let's transition to that stretch run. 3 remaining conference games in the MAC Freedom. Are you looking at anything specifically that you're hoping to improve as from a team perspective?
Yeah, there's always something we can get better at.
Sure.
And you know, there's Definitely, and it's just trying to understand where we are at the moment and who's playing at a great level, who's contributing, and seeing that we can get something from everybody. I think that's what we really need right now. Have 2 of our 3 at home, which is great. We like being at home, but we need to do well in all 3. We need to get 9 points to hopefully finish in a good spot and just kind of keep things moving in a positive direction.
As a coach, and I think I know the answer, knowing coaches in general and knowing you a little bit, do you scoreboard watch at all in the league, especially in the late stages of the year?
Well, after the game's over, we definitely go check and see who's
Sure.
doing what. But during a game, not really. Not really. I mean, it's going to be what it's going to be, and we're going to try and get ourselves the best possible seed. But it's just about preparing yourself for the day. Everything we're doing today is getting ourselves ready for Saturday, and then it's going to be getting ourselves ready for Tuesday, and then the next Saturday, and then hopefully postseason. And hopefully everything we've done before that is going to have us prepared. So when that time comes, doesn't matter if you're playing the 5 seed or you're playing the number 1 team in the country. It's that your approach has got to be that I need to be ready and I need to be as close to 100% as possible so I can go ahead and try and affect the game in a positive way.
Couple more questions here with Jeff Parker, the head coach of Stevens women's soccer. Coach, before we get into Saturday's matchup with Wilkes, we've mentioned a couple times a team of 34. 24 of the 34 players have played in 10 or more matches. So it's not as if half the team is only preparing to be contributors in the future. How do you manage that? We've talked about the analytics a little bit, but in the heat of the moment on the sideline, I'm assuming you have a mix of plan and feel of who to put in. But how do you keep track of everything as you go? And, oh, wow, she's played 72 minutes. She's played every minute, and she's only played 4. How do you keep track of all that as it goes?
Again, we're going back to some of the analytics stuff, and we'll track minutes, and we'll track how people are recovering and where we are with what. But, yeah, there's a lot of factors that go into it. It works best just because, we're fortunate to have a really good staff. Jackie Nassy, our new assistant coach, her first season. She's doing great, and she's part of that. And then we've got 3 other volunteer assistants that help us as well that have all been part of our program. So they've got a good feel for it. But it's definitely a collaboration on that too. It's trying to comment and trying to get a feel for where we can have a positive impact on the game in that moment. And fortunately, we have a lot of pieces. And we've got a lot of people that can do a lot of different things, so that allows us to be pretty flexible. But it's trying to find the right person at the right time, and sometimes I'm good at it, sometimes I'm not. But we're still working on that, and we evaluate people and our performances every day. And so yeah, we'll go through what we think, what can help, and what type of lineup is going to work best against what type of opponent or what type of style. And we'll do our best to try and make sure that everyone's contributing in their way. And it's more than just what they do on the field. It's our team when we come into the locker room, when we get on the sideline. It's everybody can find a way to contribute. And if we all do that, we got a better shot of reaching our potential.
Next opponent is Wilkes coming up this Saturday. What do you know about them as a side? What are you expecting, and what do you hope to achieve? Well,
we've been scouting, and we watch film, and we just try and get an idea about what they do. But we're honestly probably 90% us, 10% our opponent. We want to see how they usually line up and who their dangerous players are. But a lot of that goes. But like I said, 90% of it's us,
Sure.
And getting us into a good spot, and trying to stay confident and impose our will on the game. And if we're able to do that, we feel like we have a pretty good chance of getting all 3 points on Saturday.
Final question. In the midst of this postseason run, you are in the middle of the race at the moment, looking to, of course, achieve the highest seed as possible. 2 of the final 3 matches are at home in Hoboken at the Bawn Athletic Complex. Why should somebody come out to watch your team along this playoff chase?
Well, if you want to see, some phenomenal people, outstanding student athletes that do something special, and I don't think they really get enough credit for the amazing amount of work and effort and energy that they put into what they do. We think we play a pretty good style of game. I think it's fun to watch. We love to go forward, There's a chance of goals.
They do. They do love to go forward, everyone. I can attest to that.
There's
fun.
a chance for goals. You never know when. So you got to get there at the beginning and stay to the end because you never know what could happen.
He is the head coach of Stevens Women's Soccer, Jeff Parker. Coach, thanks so much for being with us. Good luck the rest of the year.
Thank you so much.
That's another episode of the Stevens Athletics Coaches Corner. Thanks so much for being with us on YouTube, social media, and other outlets. We'll see you again next week.